Are we? I see us. I'm going to do what I so just sit here in silence. Look at the camera. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome to the Morning Grind. If you don't know who I am, my name is Josh Harrell, a.k.a. the Redhead Real Estate Agent. I work here at GoodTimeTommy Homes, and every single morning we get on here. It's called the Morning Grind. At 8:29 every single morning we get on here. We talk about life. We talk about business, relationships, really how to just make you a better person. And, you know, that our mission, our goal is to reach as many people as we can. And, we can't do that without you doing these three things I'm about to ask you. Please like, comment, and share the stream. If you can't do it for me, do it for my man Cameron, sitting right here in front of me. Do it for him. Tommy, good morning. Good morning. So every single morning we start the show off by talking a little bit about gratitude, forcing ourselves into a very positive state of mind because it's impossible to be negative and positive at the same time. So why don't we just force ourselves to be positive? And we do that by being thankful. We call it 60 seconds of gratitude. And so first off, before I get into what y'all are thankful for, I'm going to be thankful. Weatherman, what's up? Thanks for getting on here. Thank you so much. So what I'm thankful for this morning is this weekend I was exposed to something it was a really, really cool thing. I don't know if you guys know who this man is, but his name is Andy Frisella, and he has this thing. It's called the 75 Hard program. If you know me, if you follow me, you know I've been through it a couple times. I went through the whole Live Hard program, and it is a big. I feel like it is a big reason that I've seen the success that I've seen so far in my career. And I owe a lot of that to him introducing it to me. And this weekend I actually got to see him in person. I went to one of his events, and it was a very, very cool thing to see. So I'm very thankful I was able to go and, see what I've been hearing. I used to listen to his podcast every single day, and I heard his voice all the time. I didn't really know what he looked like either. I just listened to his podcast without even knowing what he looked like. And I finally got to see him in person, and it was a very cool thing. I almost teared up whenever I saw him. I was like, damn, that guy right there has helped me, cross a lot of hard times in my life. And so I'm not saying he's the main reason because I did the work, but he's a huge reason why I was able to do those things. So that's what I'm thankful for. What are you thankful for this morning, Cameron? We'll start with you.
I would say I'm thankful for having the awareness now to know when I'm screwing up and knowing what I did.
Okay. Starting to realize that's a good sign that you're growing. If you're able to realize those things. Noah, what are you thankful for?
Thankful for a check mark that I hit, checkpoint
What
I hit.
What is that?
My social media hit 1,500 followers.
Hell yeah! Congratulations. Noah got.
So it might be 1,480 next
Hey,
week.
somebody's gonna be messing with you. Unfollow, follow,
Right.
unfollow.
But for the most part, I feel like those are pretty active followers, and people that I know, people that know me, like
Good.
me and trust me. So, man, it's a pretty big check mark that hopefully we're on to the next.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Daniel Hodges, what's up? Good morning. Thanks for getting on here. Jake, what are you thankful for this morning?
I usually get up around 6:37 this morning. I actually was up at 5 o'clock this morning.
Hey, the old boy was up early this morning, up and at 'em early. Hey, he says that he's making changes, and there's only one way that you're going to make changes if you're held accountable. So I will be the one taking that. I'll be the one taking that position of holding you accountable. So, all right, well, guys, let's get into it this morning. So I went to this event this weekend, and I learned a lot of really, really good things. But the one thing that I learned the most, one thing that really stood out to me was Ed Milet was up there talking. I don't know if you guys know who Ed Milet is, but he was up there talking, and he was, if you know him, he's a big-time entrepreneur, very successful man, done a lot of really cool things, made a lot of money, made a lot of really cool relationships. And Sam, what's up? Thanks for getting on here, my man. Shannon Wheeler, good morning, sir. How are you? Tommy said, "Go Irish." Hey, that was a big win Notre Dame had this weekend.
What I tell you?
Hey, man.
I predicted that.
We all predicted it. Everybody predicted it. So, hey, we don't take Notre Dame losing around here very lightly, do we? But anyway, I was at this event this weekend, and what I was really paying attention to was, first off, how were these guys controlling the room? They got about 3,000 people in one room in Nashville this weekend. And I was thinking, how the hell are you going to get 3,000 people in a room, first off, and then how are you going to control the room? How are you going to present it? And the one thing that I learned from Ed Milet was this. He said that whenever he first started, he might have had 3 people in the room. Whenever he first started, he might have had 3 people that actually were in the room. Hell, 3. One might have been his mom, one might have been his cousin, whatever. But he started very small. And during the process of him growing his entrepreneurship, during the process of him being where he is now, he compared it to this. Okay, so if you take Lake Michigan or a big lake, right? I think, what's the biggest lake? Lake Erie or Tahoe. There's a big lake in America, and the analogy he put into place was this. Okay, if you take 1 cup of water and you pour it into a lake, right? Every single day that cup doubles. So the first day you put 1 cup in the lake. The second day you put 2. The third day you put 4. It doubles. How long would you say it would, or how long do you feel like it would take to fill that lake up? A lifetime?
90 days.
90 days? 1 month? Well, okay, so he said that it would take 5 years, right? The biggest lake in America, if you put a cup of water into it every single day, that cup doubled, it would take about 5 years, okay? 4 years into that, the bottom of the lake isn't even full. The sands absorb the water. There's little puddles around the whole entire lake. 4 years within it. That last year, the lake fills up all the way. Right? So, same Daniel Hodges said 2 months. Man, that'd be impressive. So, he likes to break that analogy down and really, reflect that on what he's done in his success. The last year, that lake goes up in such big quantities. And it's the same thing. He calls it invisible progress, right? So the first couple cups you put in the lake, you're not really going to – it doesn't make a difference, right? The first few phone calls you make, or the first year you make these phone calls, or the first showing, it doesn't really make a difference, right? It's invisible. You can't really tell. I see a lot of kids on TikTok nowadays. They get on this thing called drop shipping, and they're always saying, I made $10,000 my first month of drop shipping, or I made $1,000 a week by doing this. It's not invisible. That's very quick. Which most of those assholes are lying. They're just trying to sell a program or whatever. But the big thing that I learned was this invisible progress. A lot of the things that we do, like whenever you're working out or you're trying to lose weight, you're not going to see that. You're not going to work out one day and then the next week you're going to see a big strong man in the mirror. That's not what happens. What happens is you keep working out every single day. It gets very boring. You don't want to do it. You wake up some mornings, you're like, well, shit, I really don't want to do this. But you do it anyway, but it's invisible progress that you're making. So you have to believe. It's a mindset. You got to be so bought into this thing of just invisible progress. And, really what it comes down to is even though I know I'm making progress, I don't see the progress. Right? So for us as realtors, what are some things that we do that's like, okay, invisible progress? I'm actually making progress, but I don't see it.
Well, we nurture people for years.
Nurturing leads, exactly. Calls.
Build that pipeline.
What's one thing we do every single morning? Role play.
Skills.
Believe it or not, whenever we do these things, we're training. We train on Cardota every single day. That's an invisible progress. I mean, we don't see we're actually making these steps. But it's actually happened. We just don't see it because it's a long-term process.
And then one day it just...
Well, yeah, one day, 1 month you have a big month, or maybe 1 year you have a really big year, and it just keeps funneling from there, right? So one thing that he did say is and this is what I want to share with you guys. Hey, I paid money to get into this thing, so I'm giving it to you for free. All successful people have the same 5 traits, right? There's 5 things that these successful people believe in, live by, and they have about themselves. Okay, so the first one is they believe that they deserve what's been given to them. Okay, so everybody likes to say, the Brad Lee thing. Would you rather earn $1 million or be given $100 million, right? Every single rich person or every single person that actually has done some things in their past, they're going to believe that they deserve that $100 million, so they're going to say, give me the $100 million.
Give me that shit.
Yeah, give it to me, right? So the feeling of being like the feeling I deserve that. That means that you've done some hard shit in your past.
Right.
And that hard shit that you've done is the reason why you feel like you deserve it. So
when it's just like it's given to you, then you feel like you.
you feel like even though it's a handout,
Yeah.
you feel like you deserve it, right? And that's really something that I'm trying to get the belief of. I feel like, man, you know, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve anything really. I'm trying to switch my mindset from like that's more of like a employee / worker, like somebody that's working for somebody.
Right.
Is like, okay, well, I don't deserve to be the CEO. Well, man, fuck, yes, I do. I deserve it. You know, I've done a lot of hard things in my past. I've gone through so much shit in my past. I deserve it, right? So that's the first trait. That's the number one trait that the
If you feel like you don't deserve it, it's probably because you haven't put the work in.
That's right. If you feel exactly right, if you feel like you don't deserve it, there's a reason why. There's a reason behind that. That feeling of undeservedness, if that's a word, comes from a lack of hard work or a lack of production from the past. So that's number one. Number two is the most people like. There were about 5 speakers on the stage, and every single one of them was very successful. One of them, his name was Robert Greene. He's a big-time author. Huge. I mean, his presentation was extremely boring. Not saying that he was a good presenter, but he's an author and he's a genius, right? And he broke things down, and he's probably accumulated a lot of money. And all of them said the same thing. They have a fear. This is number 2. All successful people have a fear of not achieving their goals, right? So they fear, like, man, I said I'm going to do this. I fear that I'm not going to achieve that. I fear that I'm not going to actually do it. And then the third thing was they have emotional control. So no matter how high they get, no matter how low they get, their emotions are going to be in this threshold that's right in the middle the whole time.
Gotcha.
Ed Milet said this. He was like, I was so low at one point in my life, my bills were turned off. Me and my girlfriend had to go to the shower that was by the pool at our apartment. And she had to hold a towel up over me, or like hold a blanket so nobody could see me while I was taking a shower, because I was bare ass naked, and I was taking a shower around like that because we didn't have our water. It was shut off. He said during that time my emotional control was still in the middle, as if I had just made $1 million. So he said emotional control is extremely important, no matter what. And yes, in the long term, but in the short term, like if somebody's sitting there screaming in your face, you got to be able to have the emotional control. Stay very neutral the whole time, because that's really the way to get what you want, is to be emotionally neutral. Let's just call it that. On highs and lows, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm guilty of that. My emotions, whenever I'm on a very high note, my emotions are very high. Whenever I'm on a very low note, my emotions are very low. So I definitely, me personally, I need to get better at that. Okay. The fourth thing is visualization. A lot of people have such small goals. Like I write my goals down every single day, and I do it live. I have a lot of feedback. Like, dude, you're never going to achieve that. You're never going to do this. You're not going to make $25 million a year, right? So visualization, the big-time people always had big goals. Elon Musk, he was one guy, I can't remember who it was, he was telling a story about Elon Musk. And he said even whenever he had $1 million in the bank, he was thinking billion. Like he was thinking bigger than just $1 million, right? So you need to have these big, and these goals need to be very specific, by the way. You need to have very specific goals that are out of the world. Whenever you tell them to somebody, they're probably going to look at you and just be like, yeah, whatever. Good luck. That's what you want. That's kind of feedback you want. So, all right. And then the fifth goal was you need to live with intention. Okay. Andy Frisella preaches this, like tactical tasks, like intentional tasks. Like if you do 75 hard, you know this. You got to be very intentional with whatever you're doing. That's one thing that me personally, I have kind of gotten away from, being intentional. Like I need to be so intentional with whatever I'm doing that if I don't do it, I get pissed off, even if it's something small. Right? Like writing my goals down. I'm trying to be very intentional with that. Training, role-playing, making these phone calls. Whenever I go out on a showing, whenever I'm doing these things, whenever I'm having a conversation with somebody, it needs to be so intentional to a point where it's like, look, me as a person, have a goal with you. And it's so intentional that, if I don't get that goal, if I don't reach that goal, I get in a state, fear of not achieving my potential, fear of not achieving that goal. right? So be intentional with whatever it is that you're doing. If you have your goal or your tracking sheet. My tracking sheet. I am so intentional that I have to write whatever I do that day because I know that's an intentional thing.
Yeah.
If I don't write it down, whenever I look back on it in the future, I'm going to be like, well, this is the reason why my production isn't good because I didn't do this, and this.
Well, I feel like a lot
of
time we just go about it and we just get lost. You ever been like driving on like a long trip and you forget you're driving?
Yep.
Like you zone out, you forget you're driving. I feel like we do that with life. We come
All the time.
We go to the office, we make our calls, we role play, we do this, we train, we do the things we need to do, but we're not acknowledging why we're doing it and
You're
the
not
purpose for
intentional.
doing it. It's unintentional. So yeah, you can do it, and hopefully it'll help in the long run. But if you don't intentionally think about why you're doing it, it really doesn't.
You're just going through the motions.
Going through the motions.
It's like working out, it's like lifting, but with extremely light weight.
Right.
Like
exactly.
I need to be curling 30 pounds, but I'm curling 5 pounds.
Right, and you're there just to work out.
You're just to work out, yeah.
On the other hand, this guy's lifting weights and getting stronger.
Getting stronger.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's it's being intentional. Like Andy Frisella broke it down pretty well. He said, "Look, everybody in this room. First off, you paid money. You saw an ad or you heard about it. You paid money to be here. You came here for a reason, and it's to gain knowledge. Your intentions to come here was to gain knowledge." And I was like, he broke it down perfect. Your intention to drive to work is to get to work. Your intention to eat food is to not be hungry. Your intention to make money is to not go broke and be able to pay your bills and create a life that you want, right? And so that being intentional is a very, very important thing, especially for somebody that's going through the motions, just kind of, the same thing, different day, right? Same thing, different day. You hear that all the time. Well, it needs to be the same thing, different day, yes, but I'm extremely intentional about what I'm doing, even though it's a different day.
And it can be tough, too, because, it's something that you have to constantly think about.
Absolutely.
You have to constantly think, why am I doing this?
It's tiring.
It's tiring.
It's very tiring. Yeah,
Constantly
extremely
think about
tiring.
it in everything you do, but it's important.
Exactly. Well, those are my 5 things. That's what I learned this weekend. I'm going to say one more thing before I get off here. That really, another thing that really hit me hard. Ed Milet said this. He said, the point in my life where I started to make a lot of success and make a lot of, I started to get a lot of reapings from whatever I was doing was from the point where I decided I'm not here to make money, right? Everybody has a job. Everybody does these things to where they want to make money, right? Especially as an entrepreneur. But, as an entrepreneur, you need to get your mind off making money and you need to get your mind on the intentional care and help of solving a client's problem. He said, once my interest was in their best interest, then the money followed that. Yeah. And so that's the one thing I feel like a lot of people, especially me, I'm guilty of it. I'm in it for the money. Which obviously everybody needs to pay their bills. But once you get this mindset to where it's, hey, I'm intentional on helping somebody out and solving their problem. That's whenever the reapings come. The reapings will follow that. So I just wanted to add that before I end the show because I feel like that's a very important thing. Like if I were looking for insurance or if I were looking for a car, whatever, if I could sniff out the bullshit and tell that salesperson was just trying to get money from me, I'm probably less inclined to do business with them. So that's a little tip, little PS on today's morning grind. So, guys, thank you so much for getting on here. If you were, please like, comment, and share the stream. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. Good Time Tommy will be back on the show tomorrow. Or Shannon Wheeler will be here tomorrow morning. I'm sorry. Shannon Wheeler will be doing the grind tomorrow morning. 8:29. Tune in. We'll see you guys then. Have a great Monday. Van, shut us down.